you outside of your structure.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these are weeds coming up in your financial garden. Hey, where these weeds come from? I didn't plan for that. I didn't expect that. But see, the thing about weeds are inherent in the process. So weeds are going to come. I didn't plan any weeds. The weeds just came. So in your financial life, you don't plan on it. Like I said before, you don't plan to fail. Let me go back to my garden very quickly and say, when all that choking and weeding and stuff was going on, I had to shut stuff down. Let me tell you who lost out. The butterfly lost out and the bees lost out. But guess what? The birds didn't lose out. Because they still had the bird bag. The weeds didn't bother the bird bag, and the weeds didn't bother their seed. So the bird didn't even know what was happening. So when you look at your own finances, you have to make sure you're not thinking like a bird. That you're not a bird, so when your stuff starts going bad, that you don't recognize it. That you don't realize it. You see what I'm saying? You got to be like the butterfly and the bee. You know, you got to see it going on and understand what's happening around you. So this starts happening to you, so you start to say, well, look, forget about some of these things. You know, I need a vacation. You see what I'm saying? So now that vacation, where you had established money to do something else, you were already struggling. But you decided, hey, this becomes stressful. I need such a break that you decided to have a vacation with your money. I've got to treat myself. You know, this has been too much for me. I don't deserve this. You know, I work too hard. You know, how could this happen to me? Give me a break. Okay, so I'm going to take a vacation. Now that vacation was money that was designated for something else. Because you're already struggling to pay what you had to pay the first time. Right? So that keep in mind with these bills, these things just continuously seem to happen to you. So now you get to the point where you can't afford stuff. Now you tell yourself, well, hey, I'm struggling so bad, how can I get out of this? Well, I'll get myself another credit card.
Oh, no.
That's what I'll do. I can't make the payment. I'll let somebody else pay it. And then I'll just pay them a piece of what they paid me. Okay, well, we got interest and all that stuff going on there, so you know what happens when that happens. Well, all these things are going along, and you're trying to enjoy life and live the way you want to live. So, when you were born, and forgive me, I don't know anyone in here's last name, so I just threw some names up. You were born a Whitaker, or you were born a Harris, or maybe a Kowalski, who knows? But you find yourself acting like a Jones. See, you want to be a Jones, but you were born as something else. So in other words, I'd rather do what I can't do, or try to do what I can't do, to make myself feel good, throw my finances out of sync, than I would to be responsible and accountable for what it is I have to handle in my garden, right? So we talk about my garden. There's too much debt. Your credit starts going bad. You're struggling to pay, so now you get creative again. You go to your employer and say, give me a W-4. And when you give me that W-4, I want to change how much money I'm bringing home, because you're taking too much out of my check, because I need more money to do what I want to do. You see what I'm saying? Not what I have to do, but I want to do what I want to do. You see? Because if you set it up right in the first place, everything was fine. You had what you needed. And then tax time comes. And I didn't realize that. The W-4 caused me to bring more money home, but bam, when the tax time comes, now I owe taxes. Okay, all right. These weeds just keep coming. They just keep coming in. It's an avalanche now. So what I got to do is I got to find a tax preparer that'll do my taxes right. Do my taxes right. Do my taxes right. In other words, so he won't do them right, so let me find one that's going to do them right. So you want someone that's going to do them the way you want them done, so that You can bail yourself out of the situation, but at the same time have someone else to blame. Because, you know, the man hooked you up, you know, and most of the time, like I said, I've been doing taxes for 28 years. I started as a former IRS agent, and then from there, I transitioned into my own business. Well, it was because as an agent doing my job, I caused a lady to have a heart attack, and she fell out on the, so when the IRS told me about it, she was celebrating and all happy, and that's when it hit me. That's when in my heart I knew, I said, you know what? I'm on the wrong side of the fence. You know, my heart is to help. So that's when I knew I would no longer remain. So it took a couple of years after that, but so I weeded myself out. So that's how come I know about the people and what kind of tax preparers they're looking for. So what happens to the person that doesn't find one like that? That person can't find a preparer like that, so what they do? They decide, well, I'm not going to file my tax return. No, that's not good. That's another weed. That's what that is. Weeds, weeds, weeds. All I've been telling you about is weeds. Now you're concerned about your future debt because the way your money's flowing and you can't handle it. Now you become argumentative and disagreeable to the people around you, you know, to your mate and your spouse and your family, you know. You can't get along with them. Then the job becomes a problem. All of a sudden, you're not paying me enough. I'm worth more than this. Give me a raise, you know. Well, what you're saying is bail me out. I was irresponsible. I couldn't handle what I had to handle. I need you to help me out. Make me feel better about me without me having to do it. You see what I'm saying? So give me a raise. You know, we used to say when I was young, I'm broke, I'm busted, and I'm disgusted. And most of the time when you're in that condition, you can't be trusted. And so now I need to borrow. So I go to the bank say no. Okay, well, let me refinance. Well, if you're going to refinance, it depends on if you have a home, first of all. And then if you have a home, you might not have the credit after you've done all this. So now you can't refinance the house. Weeds, weeds, weeds in your financial garden. Remember, originally in your financial garden, you had a purpose. You were trying to have some money. You were trying to give. You were trying to buy food. You were trying to transport the work. All these things are suffering. Now, because of this whole scenario and this avalanche that it keeps happening, so now they won't refinance you because of your credit. So what you do is you get another good idea. You say, hey, let me go talk to my friend. Let me go smooth up to my butt. Let me go smooth up to my mom, to my daddy, because I want to borrow money from them because I know I don't have to repay it. Now, I don't come to you like that. But that's what's in my mind, in my heart. If I can't pay my bill, how am I going to repay you? This stuff is too deep. With the money that you loan, you see what I'm saying? When are you going to pay me back? You see? So a little technique I learned from my pastor many years ago, I don't loan money anymore. You know what I do? I give it. I give it. Save relationships. Trust me. So that's how you know whether you can help someone out. If you can afford to give them the money, then you can help. But if they ask you for the money and you like, well, I've got a car note too. You can't afford to give them that money. And go with the disappointment of not lending to them. Save the relationship. You see what I'm saying? That's what I learned. That's just a little experience there. Now, nothing works. So now you're telling people to shut up. You get on my nerves. Get out my face. You're all worked up. You're tense. You're not easy. You're not fun to be around. And who are you telling that the most to? The people closest to you. Now you can't get along in your own house. You hate to come home. So nothing is working, just too much. Too much. You know, I'm choking. I'm smothering. This whole thing is taking me out. Weeds, 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 you know. So you can't get away. You can't get away, but you want to get away. So you come up with a master plan. And you tell yourself, this is too much for me. I just can't handle it. Take it all away. So you know what you just did? This is what you just did. Take it, wipe the slate clean. Take the table off. Get me an attorney.
Yes, Lord.
because I want to file bankruptcy.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I couldn't do anything. I couldn't. And I no longer want to be responsible for it.
Right.
So I'm going to use the system
Yes, sir.
to bail me out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be not responsible. I'm going to violate Genesis 2:15 because that was a commandment from God. Wasn't one of the 10 commandments, but it was a commandment. God told you to dress and keep the earth, to be responsible and accountable, to tend for it, to take care of it, to till the land, to know what it is that's beautiful and to know what it is that's a weed ahead of time.